Hi everybody, Shane R. Monroe here. Today we're going to talk about changing Proton versions, something a lot of people maybe don't know. For example, let's say Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. This is a game that we're having to do a lot of proton flipping, like flipping extras in a kung fu movie. So when you change versions of Proton, it's not always enough to just change versions of Proton. Sometimes it works, but sometimes it doesn't. You're much better off after changing versions of Proton to do one of three things to remove or eliminate the old Proton versions. The easiest thing to do would be to go under installed files and verify the integrity of the game files. That will essentially reset the install. That'll make sure a clean copy of Proton is brought down. It will verify all the game files, of course, and it will reset any pre-launch scripts that you might need. So that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is to reinstall the game. That sucks though, right? Nobody wants to actually do that. So that's sort of a last-minute ditch effort that a lot of people do when they don't realize that these other things are an option. Now, if you find yourself flipping Proton versions all the time, constantly, you may want to go into your settings under System and turn on Developer Mode. Now, I swear this used to get turned on by default for some reason, but maybe only if you're in the beta channel. Anyway, turning on Developer Mode will give you another option that is actually far easier, and that is hit the gear. You'll now have a developer line item, and underneath developer, there is a delete Proton files. So typically speaking, if I were going to move Indiana Jones and the Great Circle from, say, Proton Experimental back to standard default Proton, right? What I may do here is I'll go to developer, I'll delete the Proton files, right? Then I'll change modes. So I'll go to my compatibility. Now I'm going to use, GE Proton. All right. Then I'll run the game. So then I know that the old Proton is gone, the new Proton is here, and there's not going to be any conflicts, right? This is a pretty simple trick, but believe it or not, this is pretty much necessary, especially if you're doing things like messing with old Ubisoft games, right? A lot of times you're going to have to flip back and forth versions of Proton between 8.0.5 or -5 and Proton Experimental or Proton Hotfix. So you probably want to turn that developer mode on. That way you can quickly and easily get access to deleting those Proton files. Now, I've got to warn you something. I warn you with peace and love, deleting Proton files will usually take out anything in the Proton prefix that shouldn't be there. Now, that could be game saves. Well, it shouldn't be there if it's fresh, right? So it could take out game saves, game configuration, mods that you've done to the Windows folder inside the Proton prefix. So be very careful when you delete and change Proton files. Make sure if you have a game in progress or something of that nature that you are backing that up. Use Ludosavi, use whatever you need to do to get that save game out of there. If there's no cloud save, for example, just be safe, okay? Deleting Proton files seems like a harmless, benign action, but it has cost people some time. So, hey, listen, if you like what we're doing here, like, subscribe, hit the bell. You guys know what to do. I'm Shane R. Monroe. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Take care.